Hello and welcome to Bible Bites. I'm Makayla, pastor of Family Life here at St. Philip the Deacon. This past week, or whenever you're listening to this video, this week in our life together in Sunday school, our kids are exploring the story that Jesus tells about a man who had two sons. Sometimes it's referred to as the prodigal son, but in any case, this is a story of family life. You have the younger son who comes to dad and says, "Give me my inheritance." And then he goes off and spends it, squanders it, and he realizes that this is not how he wants to live. And he comes back to his father and says, "Hire me as one of your laborers. I'm not worthy to be your son anymore, but I want to live my life differently." And his father is so overjoyed that he has come back. He disregards how insulted he was that his son left in the first place and says, "I'm going to throw a party for you, and I'm just so happy you are restored to me." And it's this beautiful story about many different aspects, of course. You can focus on many different details, but one point I like to explore in this story is the abundance of grace. It's a way that we can think about God's grace as just being so abundant and overflowing that it doesn't matter what we do, God is there to receive us with open and loving arms. So first of all, this is a story about grace. The second thing that we are exploring is that the kids are using their sense of hearing in our classroom. And how does hearing and things that we take in help us relate to God? So this week you could at home maybe use some musical instruments, or maybe bang on the table a little bit and say, remember that story you heard about how there was a party and there was lots of dancing and music, and it reminds us of God's love and abundance and grace. The third thing that we can think about with this story is that there is two sons, remember. There's an older brother, and he is out in the field working, and all of a sudden he hears party noises, and you can't help but wonder what it's like to be the older brother, and no one has even told him that his brother's back. He has to hear the music before he knows, and he's a little put off by this. He's a little offended. So there are many times in our lives where we might feel like that big brother, saying that something's not fair, but it invites us to think about, do we make ourselves available to that grace that God offers? Are we interested in participating about what God might be doing that to us might be a little confusing or not seem exactly in line with way we think the world order should work? How this relates to our kiddos is just an invitation to help them notice how God might be extending grace and how they can receive it. Maybe it's someone shares with them, or maybe they are more gracious in winning a game or something like that, but that we are open to receiving and giving God's grace. I hope that this story helps you explore God's grace, and I hope that you can receive this blessing as a gift of grace to you and to your family. May God's love be in our hearts, in our mouths, and in our minds. May God's love work through our hands and lead us in every way.